Welcome everyone, Kishan Panchal here. Today we are going through major upgrade of Greenplum database. Typically involves updating a newer version of the software which can include new features, performance enhancement and bug fixes. The process of upgrading will depend on the specific version you are currently running and the version you are upgrading to. It may involve a series of steps such as backing up the current database, installing a new software, updating the configuration file, and running the database specific upgrade scripts. It is important to thoroughly test the upgraded database before applying to the production environment. Please check out our VMware doc for more details on the migration. You can migrate the data from Greenplum database version 4.3 or 5 to the Greenplum database version 6 using the standard backup and restore utilities as well as by using GP backup and restore or by using the GP copy. A Greenplum database 4 system must be at least version to the 4.3.22 to use the GP backup and restore utilities. As well as the Greenplum database version 5 system must be at least version of 5.5 to use the GP backup and restore utilities. Be sure to use the latest release of GP backup and restore utilities. Here I have created three clusters. First cluster which is running on 4.3.10.0, second cluster which is running on 5.29.5, and our third cluster which is running on Greenplum database version 6.23.0. The cluster which is running on Greenplum database version 4 and 5 are having the same segment configuration, and the cluster which is running on Greenplum database 6 is having a different segment configuration. I am using the latest backup and restore utility which is 1.27.0. Let's not wait and start our Greenplum database clusters by using gpstart-a in normal mode and check database is up and running on all three clusters. Before starting upgrading Greenplum database, it is important to ensure that there is no issue with the current installation and the hardware. Make sure to check everything and then go ahead. My all three clusters are up and running in optimal mode. There is no issue found. For installation guide of the version 6 as well as the version 5, please check our earlier videos which having the complete details how to install the Greenplum database. To perform a full backup of Greenplum database, we are going to use GP backup utility. Here I have created a common NAS point which is mounted to all the segments and master host. I have make sure that my NAS point is accessible by all the hosts on all three clusters. By using the common mount point, we are going to push the backup from the version 4 and restore it to the version 5 as well as version 6. I've installed the same version of Greenplum backup and restore utilities on all three clusters. Make sure the utility is compatible with the database and then install it. Before starting the migration of the data, we have to check all the utilities which were there in our earlier version cluster should be available or on a new cluster. You can get the details of all the package and utilities which were there on the older version by using gppkg query all, and make sure that those utilities and packages are installed in our newer Greenplum database version cluster. Hence, we don't have any issue while migrating the data from one cluster to another. Next, to check the GP configuration parameters, there are several configuration parameters in Greenplum database that can be used to optimize query performance and manage resources and configure security. Make sure to have the required parameters which were there on the Greenplum database version 4 and optimize for the Greenplum database version 6. You can check those parameters by using gpconfig-l or just cat the postgres.conf file. Go to master data directory and cat the postgres.conf file. Check all parameters which are there on the older cluster and optimize those parameters and update them on the new cluster. Before migrating the data and make our new cluster live, we need to check the performance. This can be tested via GP Perfmon utility. It runs series of tests on the system and reports on the result, providing the information on the performance of the system, including CPU usage, memory usage, disk I/O, and network I/O. The utility may take a while to perform the test as it is copying very large files between the host. When it is finished, you will see the summary result for the disk writes, disk read, and stream test. Here we are going to perform two tests. First to check the bandwidth of the test like IO as well as to check the bandwidth of our network. You can use the different Linux utilities to check the disk IO or bandwidth with a different block size and make sure that our new cluster is not bottlenecking anywhere. We'll fast forward the process and show you the result and move on. Once test is completed, verify the network bandwidth. We will create a template database and insert some million rows. Now, real work. As all dependencies are met, all the testing is done, and bugs and the issues are fixed. Now we are going to perform the backups. This can be done in a single go if the size is less, or we can schedule in the series. As my current database size is less, I am taking a complete database backup using the job 4. Jobs can be used for the parallel connection to use when backing up the data. Once the backup is completed, verify the report that there are no any errors. You can use GP Backup Manager to query the backup files if you require more details. Our full backup successfully completed. Now it's time to restore in the cluster which is running on Greenplum version 5 by using the GP restore utility. First update the timestamp and execute the GP restore utility. Make sure the mount point is accessible from all the hosts which are running the Greenplum database version 5 and our restore is completed. Verify whether the database is created or not. Also verify the data as well as verify the reports if you are having issue. If you find any issue with the table, then you can manually migrate those table by using gp copy command or other utilities. Here we have completed the migration of the data from the Greenplum database version 4 to version 5, which are having the same segment configuration. Now the different challenge. We are going to migrate the data from Greenplum database version 4 to Greenplum database version 6, which are having the different segment configuration. For that, we are going to use the same GP backup and restore utilities with the additional parameter passed as resize cluster. Like restore a backup taken on a cluster with more or fewer segments than the cluster to which it will be restored. Make sure mount point is accessible and our Greenplum database is up and running. Execute GP restore with the additional parameter resize cluster and our restore is completed. I have kept some error to troubleshoot. We can troubleshoot those errors via querying the report which is generated by GP restore and check each and every error and warning. In my case, I am having error that protocol GP SDFS does not exist. So that's common as the GP SDFS is removed in the Greenplum database version 6. If you may be using GP SDFS external table protocol in the Greenplum database version 4 or 5 cluster to access the data and store in Hadoop, Greenplum database version 6 removes support for GP SDFS protocol. You need to migrate all the external table which are using GPSDFS to the PXF. Here my restore is completed from Greenplum database version 4 to version 6 using the GP backup and restore utility. Migrate any table you skipped during the restore using other methods. For example, using the copy to command to create an external file and then loading the data from external file into the Greenplum database 6 version. Before upgrade, check for any known compatibility issue. It is important to check the Greenplum database documentation for any known compatibility issue between the current version and the version you are upgrading to. Once the restore is completed, recreate any object you dropped in the Greenplum database version 4 or 5 to enable the migration such as external tables, indexes, user-defined function, or user-defined aggregates. Greenplum database version 5 and 6 removed automatic cast between the text type and the other data type. After you migrate from Greenplum database version 4 to version 6, this change behavior may impact your existing application and queries. After migrating data, you may need to modify SQL scripts, administrative scripts, and user-defined functions as necessary to account for changes in the Greenplum database version 6. It's important to note that the above steps are a general guide, and the exact process may vary depending on a specific version of Greenplum database version and the amount of data being migrated. It's recommended to consult the Greenplum database documentation or work with the Greenplum expert to ensure a smooth migration process. Before we go, I want to thank you, the Greenplum team, for developing a database that functions on flexible hardware. Three clusters were operating simultaneously on a typical desktop PC, like 18 virtual machine running RHEL 8. Hats off to the VMware team, RHEL and AMD. Let us know in the comment down below if you are facing any issue. Thank you. Meet you in the next session.